Today, on the Weeb Couch, we have Blazing Heat. Who is this guy? Tell us about yourself.
My name is Blazing Heat. I've had this nickname since I was 12, 13 years old, somewhere around there. It's a completely innocent name. I always get questioned about its origin, but hey, I was a kid at the time.
Okay, so today we will be asking Blazing Heat 15 gaming questions. Let's get started. Alright, question 1. What is the best retro console?
I would say the Super Nintendo. I grew up with a Sega Genesis and a regular Nintendo, but the Super Nintendo, I think, really got me into gaming when I was a little boy.
Okay. Question 2. What is your favorite retro game?
Wow. Being a little older, it's a strange question, but at the time it wasn't a retro game. But Final Fantasy VI. Yep, that's the Japanese number, Final Fantasy VI. In the United States, it was Final Fantasy III. But 6 was my favorite game. Probably is maybe my favorite game of all time.
Okay. Question 3. What is your favorite genre?
My favorite genre of games, probably role-playing games, RPGs. Maybe a little open-worldy, but just generally I'm a story-driven RPG type of guy.
Okay, so when you say RPG, are you going more classical RPG or JRPG?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question. I would have to say that I grew up on JRPGs more. But I do love classical RPGs as well.
Okay. Question 4. What is currently your favorite game?
Wow, my current favorite game is... It's kind of hard to say at the moment. It changes. I would have to say right now, the last one that rings in my head would be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Good choice. Question 5. What is your favorite series of games?
Easy. Final Fantasy.
Okay. I cannot argue. These are facts. Okay. Question 6. What is your favorite overall game? I know previously you mentioned possibly Final Fantasy VI, but what do you think?
It would be Final Fantasy VI. Yes, definitely. Also up there on the same system, Super Nintendo, would be Chrono Trigger. I grew up when that came out. Man, these games were just freaking amazing, right? Like there was nothing like them. I know, like nowadays, there's everything under the sun when it comes to games, but back then, that one left some serious marks on me. I remember a lot about my childhood from that game.
Okay. Question 7. What is the most disappointing game you have played?
Oh wow. Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, I had high hopes for that one. You know, Final Fantasy X was amazing. It went into Final Fantasy 11 Online, and then Final Fantasy 12 was okay. And then I kind of thought that Square Enix would kind of go back to the roots with 15, but they didn't. And so I'm very up and down on 15.
So you're counting skipped Final Fantasy 13 completely. You sure that's not your most disappointing game?
13 was okay. I mean, it felt like the series was kind of like in a decline already at that time, so I wasn't expecting much. but there was a lot of hype around 15, unfortunately for me, and I got my little boy hopes up, and they were crushed. It wasn't everything I expected it to be.
Okay. Question 8. What is your favorite mobile game?
Oh, wow. I haven't really played mobile games. I like there's one that was released, I think it was by Nintendo, for Fire Emblem. I played a lot of that. I played a lot of the Fate Stay, or I guess the Fate Grand Order game when it came out. But lately I haven't really been playing many. I think I play more chess on my phone than anything now.
Okay. Question 9. What game do you play that your peers hate that you play?
That my peers hate that I play? You know, wow, let me think about that one. I'm a bit all over the place when it comes to gaming. So for a console, I don't think there's anything that I play that anyone else hates that's a peer or a colleague or a friend. Street Fighter. I buy everything Street Fighter. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I even have like a joystick for Street Fighter, and every time I try to get my friends to play that game, they're just like, no, dude, like, I don't want to play it with you. Go away. So maybe it's Street Fighter.
Okay. Question 10. What cinematic do you remember the most?
In a game, what cinematic do I remember the most in a video game? Oh gosh, Final Fantasy VII. Aerith is like praying, and Sephiroth is like gliding down with his sword, and yeah, it's the first thing that came to my head.
Okay. You can't see, but I'm cringing. That's so super sad. Question 11. What is your current favorite console?
My current favorite console is a tie between the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch.
If only one could exist, which one?
Damn it. Man, I don't know. If one could exist, I would say that PlayStation does a lot better at giving you experiences more than like games, and Nintendo really focuses more on games. So I would probably say Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch staying or going?
It would stay. I love the games on the PS4, but let's face it, Nintendo Switch has actual like really good just games like that I would just play. Like,
okay. Question 12. What is the best game story that you have experienced?
The best game story I've experienced. That one is different based on how old I was. So originally I would have said Chrono Trigger had an amazing story. I think as far as how simple that story is and the time jumping timeline is, I don't think it's been matched as far as like story and gameplay. The last game story that I really got invested in was oh man, the Witcher series is actually based off some pretty good books. I actually have those up here. And then as far as original game story, probably Horizon Zero Dawn had an amazing story behind it. Those are the couple that come to my mind.
Okay. Question 13. What is your next gen console going to be?
Oh, console-wise, yeah, the PS5, absolutely. I'm a PC gamer. I have a PS4 now, and I have a Nintendo Switch. When it comes to just gaming and just relaxing and chilling, I kind of nowadays gravitate toward consoles. So the PS5 is probably going to be my next one, but I still play a lot of Switch too. So
Okay. Question 14. What is your favorite upcoming game? It doesn't have to be a game. It can be like a patch for something or anything like that.
So the one game I know I can't wait for is like the second part of the Final Fantasy remake, which, you know, that's years from now probably. Another game here would be the second Horizon Zero Dawn. So can't wait for that. That's going to be pretty cool. Hoping for more Square Enix stuff out of for Nintendo Switch. Right now, it's I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem, like on the Switch. I've spent so many hours in that game. But yeah, those are the games that I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Last question. Question 15. When you play a game, what setting do you start with? Do you start with easy, medium, or hard if possible?
Oh yeah, medium, like whatever the normal game setting is. Easy is like your, and people hate me for this, but like the Uncharted players, right? Like they're really just playing a movie. And then too hard is like, you know, Demon Souls and stuff like that. Like I remember playing Demon Souls and I spent like an hour trying to kill like some skeletons in the first area. Yeah, that was strange. Yeah, I would say medium. I want to be able to enjoy a game. And maybe when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I really loved the challenge. But nowadays, I'm in it for kind of like some of the challenge, some of the gameplay, some of the experience.
Okay. Bonus question. What game have you played multiple times? Like, keep redoing the redos, maybe different paths, things like that. So what game do you think had the most replay value?
Replay value?
Yes.
So, I mean, PC is the king of like replay value games. I mean, online competitive games. So Overwatch, Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, like more one with the story. Like, for instance, beating Final Fantasy VII with different teams just to do it. Maybe a visual novel with different paths, things like that.
Oh, okay. So,
like, what game have you beat multiple times?
Like single player games?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. That's a hard one. I think I've played Chrono Trigger more than any other single player game, mainly because it had multiple endings in that game, and I've gotten literally every ending in that game possible. And like, for example, one of the endings to get, like, you literally, the first time you fight Lavos, you're supposed to die, but with the new Game Plus mode, you could be level 99 and just come in there and just wipe them, and then the game's over in like 15 minutes. And it takes a while to get to that point. So yeah, I've replayed that game dozens of times.
Okay. Well, that's it for Weebs on a Couch. Thank you for our co-host, not really guest, Blazingheat, for your time.
Thank you, Slothrai.